Welcome back to Young Justice. What's your name, Jacob?
I'm Sheltered Boy.
And
I never leave the house.
Last we left off.
Right here.
Last we left off.
Yeah. It's been a minute. Last we left off, we heard about all the bads.
Well, you know,
the league is falling apart. Not the league, the team.
Well, no,
it's not even real. Wally is having an existential crisis.
Well, no, last
not
episode,
Wally. It's Roy, not
Jesus.
Roy.
That wasn't last episode though. That was
Wally.
Okay. So last episode, the girls went to deal with. Went to this base and found out that Simon's, he's awake again. And they seem to be taking children who most would just. Did I turn the mic? I did on. Had a slight heart attack for a second there.
Original Wally was there, not Wally.
Nope, that's
original Roy.
No.
He was captured. He was in one of the containers.
No, he was not.
Yeah, he was. What?
No.
What?
He was not.
What?
However,
the guy's friend was.
Yeah. Jaime's friend. Yes.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah. Blue Beetle's friend, Ty. They showed him. What's up? Oh, you remember the Scarab? Was like, kill him.
His
kill
AI. He has pirated DVDs in there. Murder him.
Yeah.
Kill him. It's trash.
He's like, he's getting ready to attack. Time for preemptive strike. Yo.
No. He pulls out a missile launcher from his hand.
And then we mistook fireworks for a missile that was coming to a shed that wasn't happening.
Yes, I was so concerned.
I was just like,
this is a lot more deadly than I thought it was gonna be.
I just thought it was. I was like, that's a bird because there's no missile. I know that. But anyway, unfortunately, Jaime's search was kind of in vain because there was nowhere to find him, and we know why.
Yeah.
How's it coming?
Almost finished.
Wish I could go along.
Sorry, only seats one.
Decryption completed. Translation completed.
Don't need the explanation for that one.
Stand ready.
Oh no!
Ta-da!
I was like, did Lobo just teleport into this hideout?
Impulse? That's so Crash. Catchy, dramatic, one word. Like Nightwing and Robin and Beast Boy, except that's 2 words. Blue Beetle's 2 words. Hey, is he here too? Never mind. Impulse can find that out for himself.
You two, take him down.
Old style faucets, so retro.
Is this Artemis and Wally's son?
Artemis? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Because I know Wally would be smart enough to go through time like that.
Well,
it wouldn't surprise me if his son was able to do it.
Limbo time.
I don't know if Wally's son. That's still pretty crazy. That's still a little past just teasing.
You can't catch me that easy.
Yeah.
You're trying to get a DNA sample. You need my spit. That's such a Dick Grayson thing to do.
How did...
See, I know stuff only a future boy would know. Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Garfield Logan.
Your name's Tim? And yours is Dick?
Oops, spoilers. This secret identity thing is so retro. I mean, you can call me Impulse, or Bart Allen, or Bart Impulse Allen. It's all Crash.
Is it possible he might actually be telling the truth?
Recognized. Malcolm Duncan, A10.
Ooh, sounds like a door opening somewhere. And that's my cue.
He can do that.
Hi, Mal. Bye, Mal.
Don't worry, the Peregrine Falcon is the world's fastest bird. He won't get away.
Yep.
You planted a tracer? It'll fall off at his speed. It won't. He drank it. Subcutaneous micro-tracker in the water. Nice. Thanks. He's making a beeline for Central City. Hey, need your help.
Oh, I've always dreamed of doing this. I mean, when you were young and I didn't have to worry about breaking you, Gramps. Hey, Grandma. Love you too. You must be the Garricks. That makes you like my honorary great-grandparents.
Iris and I don't even have kids.
Barry,
What?
I'm pregnant.
What?
Bruh.
I found out this morning. I was gonna tell you tonight, in private.
Hi, Dad. Hi, Aunt Dawn.
Wait, there are two in there?
We're having twins?
Oops. Spoilers.
Careful, kid. If you are what you say you are, revealing too much could crash the whole time stream.
Crash it, if only.
Wally, what are you?
Nightwing called. Thought I might be of some help with this mess. Ugh.
You're Wally West, my first cousin once removed.
The operative word being removed.
One flash down, one to go.
Oh, come on, Grandpa. Let the League handle this guy. I mean, how often does a relative from the future show up at your door?
Listen, I'll deal with you later. Stay put. I'll be back in a flash.
Back in a flash. Wow. Does he say that often?
Too often.
Nice trick.
Thanks. Dad taught me. He learned it. Well, we'll learn it from you.
Still feel like bringing the kid on the mission is a bit iffy. Oh.
Told you we should have left her with your sister.
You handle that.
And we handle Neutron, right?
Right. Wait, his name's Neutron?
Yeah, sure. Heard him shout it. You know, like bad guys do. I'm Neutron. All of you will die. Anyway, what's the plan?
Remember that wind funnel that you used to save me?
Sure, I remember. I was there. So were you. Good times.
We do it again, on a bigger scale. You, me, Kid Flash.
Around the perimeter of the explosive wave.
The funnel draws him upward.
And we move him out of the city. Piece of cake.
You getting any of this?
Every fifth word, maybe. Go ahead, lap me. I'm used to it. Oh, come on!
Oh, man.
No! This interference will not stand!
You're so gonna feel the mode.
What's supposed to happen for him?
Timeline reversal effect that you just had.
No, it's not. Reversing is just not.
This is so humiliating!
Oof. Luckily it was
Oh my god!
Yeah, at least it was evacuated though.
What's going on?
There are fluctuations now between his energy waves.
I didn't see that.
You don't have the Allen family eyes.
Don't make me hurt you.
Each fluctuation only lasts a microsecond, but at near light speed, I can race in, grab Neutron, and haul him to the desert to minimize damage.
That sounds kinda...
You two stay put. I'll be back in a flash.
Oh no.
Hey.
Neutron's overload accelerated. Even at my top speed, I'd have never made it to the desert in time. But what are you doing? You're retired. You could have died.
Joan's gonna kill me just for putting on the tin hat.
Hey, where's the kid?
Yeah, might want to get him a blanket or something.
What's happening to me?
We're not sure, son.
But it looks like it's over. His heat signature reads normal human now.
What did happen?
A little rusty, but you know, we'll get used to it.
Should I be concerned over the obvious delight our daughter takes in the ultraviolence?
It's genetic.
Great. Well, this was the door they didn't want us anywhere near, so...
Whew. Well, you're not technically wrong, genetically speaking.
So long.
Maybe he's traveling forward 1 second at a time?
It's not working. The whole thing's fried.
Can you fix it?
I'm a tourist, not a chronal expert. Look at me. I'm trapped in a stupid past. Ugh, I'm so moted.
You understand the trip to the past will fry the machine's circuitry. This is a one-way ticket.
Does this look like a future worth returning to? Well, I better get in character. Neutron.
Please, don't use that name. I was Neutron for too many years. Through too much destruction.
Oh!
Hey,
hey.
That kid is so Crash. He did it. It's a new day. No. Time stream. It should have all changed. All at once. The mode should have crashed. Should have all crashed.
Oh no! Ow!
Vandal Savage, you bastard!
Actually, you know, it could be, or have nothing to do with him also.
Listen, I know that caveman has his hand in everything.
Yeah, maybe.
You can't tell me
he
no.
did say that, you know, the whole survival of this, maybe this is him, he's one to
he's like, we're gonna evolve the Earth by nuking it.
Or he's trying...
And we're moving to Mars.
Or he's thinking the Earth's too weak to defend against whatever could have, you know, done this, possibly.
Or Vandal could have just hired the people who did this.
Or Vandal did this, you know.
Yeah.
Man. So, what'd you think of that?
That was so not mode.
Well, not Crash.
No, it was Crash.
No, Crash is bad. Or good.
No, Crash is bad.
No, Crash is good. We're supposed to... Feeling the mode is a bad thing. Jacob, I've seen this a few times. For us, mode's bad.
For them, Crash bad good.
Are we talking about when you say them?
Them.
You mean
they, future, but us.
No. Okay. No, because Bart said, you know, every time he was like, "This is Crash," you know, or "I'm really feeling the mode" when he was like bummed out.
If my grandkid showed up
and
he said that to me, I would slap him.
Because
he said that.
He said Crash? Why, Jacob?
In a non-grammatical way, he would get a hand.
It probably is meaning something to them for a reason.
Oh yeah, the aliens said it too. So.
Yeah. So it might, they might have picked it up from them. But yeah, we didn't necessarily see them. We saw silhouettes of, they have to be aliens, considering there's like...
Yeah, it almost seemed like it wasn't Krolatan, but it was another alien dialect.
You remember Krolatanes whenever they speak, they're like...
Yeah, it's kind of like growls and stuff.
Yeah, this one was like, I don't know, this was like... some weird crap. Yeah.
The Earth is ash.
I don't know, maybe just Mount Justice.
No.
Everything else is fine. That one spot, just like, this is bad, don't go here.
Vandal only blew up that one area.
He had a grudge.
And he made it permanently like nuclear winter.
Grudge.
So Batman and them went, they did their thing, and now it's all good.
Yeah.
So Vandal was upset that they got a good verdict and nuked the mountain. That was
just Mount Justice.
Just Mount Justice.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nothing else.
That's exactly what happened. I spoiled it. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. That's.
But
season 2.
But I thought it was funny though when they show the first few moments of that part. We're just sorry, only just one, and then it just kind of like transitions to the beginning of the episode. You're just like,
when I saw that, I was like, "There's no context to this."
Like, okay, cool, yeah, all right, cool, gotcha. And I was like, inside, of course. But then pretty soon, like before we go into like he actually shows up, they're like talking about whenever McGann and John when they attacked the episode we found out about Calder being
bad.
With Black Manta.
Terrible. Awful person.
We saw or they apparently had gathered some intel, and there's apparently somebody's experimenting on the humans that they had found, that the girls had found at the other place.
Yeah.
And that there wasn't something that, whatever translation, it wasn't like an exact translation. Like the closest thing that they could find was Metagene, which they don't know what that is. But I think not we from here, but like you've heard the term Metagene from other media before.
I wouldn't say I've heard the term necessarily, but I know what meta means and I know what gene means, so I can only assume that it is an additive or a combined additive to the actual DNA structure of a human being, causing them to have innate, almost mutant-like superpowers. That they had to put a suit on the guy in order to not actually nuke everything.
Yeah, it was like I don't remember, it was somebody was saying that the suit was basically containing it.
Yeah.
And that also, like a part of the function of the suit.
I think that was Wally.
Yeah, I think it was Wally. Part of the functionality of the suit was also giving them, whoever these things were, control of this guy.
Yeah.
And after everything, he's like, oh my god, what's going on? What's happening? Why am I here? Help. This poor kid. Because when we find out, first we hear his voice like, oh, Flash, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, whenever the suit's gone, he's only a kid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, this poor kid. He put, quite a few people's lives in danger.
Yeah.
I don't know assumedly somebody had to have been injured or killed. We don't know.
Assumedly, he nuked a 3-block radius.
That was after they'd already evacuated. But I'm saying prior to that, before Flash and them got there, before the huge explosion happened, he was fighting off blasts here and there. There was the smaller wave that kept emanating from him. We don't know who had got caught up in that before they were called, before Barry and them were called.
Yeah.
What's up? But coming to his own, and if they inform him of anything that happened, I would assume that they're not going to tell him, like, hey, so bad news, you killed a few people.
I doubt they're going to say that.
I doubt they'll say that to him. Unless government is like, facts. To prevent this from happening again, we're taking you here, blah 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 blah, stuff like that. Maybe they'll do that, but I don't know. Or it's like you could have killed somebody, but to prevent that from ever happening, maybe we'll take you here. Maybe they'll go that route. I don't really know. Government in any kind of variety are shown to be not always the most sensitive.
Oh, I know. They don't care.
So, and for those wondering why I'm kind of moving a little weird, I have a crick in my neck, so just as a heads up. But he's at least, it seems, cured because it affected him in the future. So like he doesn't have the collar anymore that is like that inhibitor collar. And so
didn't his scar go away?
Yeah, he doesn't have a scar anymore. And he said he was Neutron for years.
Yeah.
For too many years, and so he probably they used him probably before since Bart hadn't showed up in the original time. Which now this is a different time. Well, not this is it. Oh god. Okay. The time's just different. The time's different now. That's all. We're going with that. But in terms of comics and DC, essentially it's a different timeline.
Yeah, we don't.
It's multiverse.
We don't have to spend 30 minutes on string theory.
It's not string theory. It's a comic world where it's actually a real thing where there's multiple Earths. But that's okay. We're not going to have to go into it because this is technically Young Justice. Like is basically Earth 616. This isn't like Young Justice. Like whenever they make a different shoot off of a comic, like there's Justice League Rebirth, Justice League New 52. Those are considered like multiverse stuff. And that was a different Earth. That's always explained that way. Anyway, times change now. Bart showed up. He's like acting. When he first shows up, he's like, going crazy, like, just zipping around. It's like, oh, impulse, I like that, I'll use it. And just kind of zips around. And he's like, going around, like, messing with everything. He's like, oh, wow, these are retro. I'm going to turn these knobs everywhere. And I do think it's funny that Nightwing is the one that got him.
Yeah.
Partially, I'm assuming, that Bart might have kind of somewhat allowed that to kind of, because as we found out, some of that was an act. Because when we kind of saw him in in his timeline, he was a little more serious.
Yeah. And he
acted like he didn't know how to freaking work the thing after Fry, but it looks like he put it together.
Yeah. He looks like he put it together and was even like, yeah, we only have enough for like this is a one-way trip. Yeah, I understand,
but
I don't want to be here.
I'll take my odds. I'll take the odds.
It really reminded me of like a little bit of Trunks from Dragon Ball whenever he went back. I
did get that flavor.
But Trunks was always serious. It wasn't like he was like goofy.
No, Bart here is like, well, time to get into character. He was like, I'm not gonna be who I am here because this will make them whenever it comes to the point of having to flub things up, like trip in front of Flash to stop to accidentally trip him up.
Yeah.
Or in the case of like, oh crap, this thing fried. I didn't know that was gonna happen, and I can't fix it. Then that, hey, he probably can't now because of this is I don't know if they said how many years in the past for him it is. So they may not even have the technology to fix it.
Yeah, it's at least 2 generations. So we can assume like 60 years maybe, 40 to 60
give or
years.
take. Yeah. Speaking of generations, find out poor. I was
old
like,
man
wait,
can
twins?
still.
I was like, huh?
Yeah. And
you're like, I was
also,
gonna tell you.
The old man can still move.
Oh, Jay. I love that so much, getting to see the classic suit in action, even though it was only for a moment. It was really cool to see. And I think the voice actor, it sounds like the same guy who voiced Kent Nelson. The original Dr. Fate. Oh, it sounded like the normal Kent Nelson version. Not obviously the Dr. Fate, because I don't think we never saw him with the helmet on. But we did, however, get to see Wally in his suit for the first time this season. And we kind of knew already. We've seen him a little bit. He's definitely already taller. But he does seem to have bulked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Since the days of yore. 5 years ago.
I guess now that he's not burning as much calories running all over the place and everything like that, he's able to put more muscle on.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he wasn't like scrawny back when they were 16. Or when he was 16 anyway. 14?
I know, but he was still on the thinner side.
Yeah, he was definitely thinner, but so was Robin, and so was you can't really tell Calder's size now, but regardless, the thing is with speedsters, their metabolism is just like always.
Yeah.
But yeah, running probably does speed up more. But yeah, that might have been able to help, but probably thinking too much into that.
The health of a speedster.
Let's see. Let's map this out.
Chapter 1.
We also had on the side Roy and Cheshire on their own mission with their daughter.
And a ranger up close with an assassin who was one-handed, was able to take down like 60 people?
And he was also quite rusty.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really get to see how rusty, but we saw that whenever after the very end, he's like going like this.
Yeah.
Which he never really had to do beforehand. We can still see that he's still a little bit on the thin side, but he's cleaned up a bit at least. They shaved him up and trimmed his hair, all that good stuff. I got him a new or at least a clean costume that's not all ragged and whatnot. I think he's put on a little bit. I don't know how long it's been since we last saw him, but
And it also seems like Cheshire is a lot more because I know they kind of fell apart for a while, so it looks like she's a lot more willing to. I wouldn't say be with him because she kind of hinted at just him being a father again, but she's definitely being more interactive with him.
Yeah. She's also she's thinking about their child. She's like, she needs her dad, and you weren't beforehand you weren't really one of the reasons that they split up or separated is because of the fact that he was focusing too much. He was too obsessed with searching for Roy.
Yeah.
So that kind of messed things up on that end, and she's like, this is she needs you, not just me. She needs both of us.
Yeah.
And so to do that, I have this one lead. Once whether this pans out or not, that's it. You're done. Turns out we had a jackpot.
It was him.
It was definitely him. Yeah. It's still unfortunate that he does not have his arm, and that's gonna be rude awakening whenever he finds out about that. I do like the part where, first off, when they show up and they're like stealth, they're like, they're going stealthily, and then they take out the 2 goons, and then she's like, oh, that was cool, and then they're all just there, and it's like, should have left her with Artemis. It's like, yeah, I don't know if that was the best parenting move, Take your infant child
to go
on a
see
dangerous
your
mission.
Other dad?
Dad's kind of. One didn't have the interaction.
Yeah, and one doesn't have an arm.
Also, would be considered illegal. So there is that.
What is
illegal? If they got him before he met the team, he would be between 16 and 13. So yes.
Oh yeah.
But regardless of that, and he apart from the fact that it sucks just having no arm, but the thing is he's an archer, and it's just like, hey, can't really do the thing.
If Bart can make an entire time machine,
but
he can make a prosthetic arm.
He's also put up the farce that he isn't technologically skilled.
Oh, true.
So he can't do that.
Well, Wally
at the very
could.
least, I feel like that kind of depending on how much of a prosthetic he'd be making. Even like Wally, I don't know how advanced he'd be able to go. He at least already had the accident that Barry had created already had been committed to replicate, and it wasn't a perfect replication. So
then we'll go one further, and we'll say Red Tornado.
He
created an entire body.
That's actually not a bad idea. Well, one thing I do want to bring up is a small thing. The poor Wally, with Bart here, younger than Wally, is still faster. He's like, come on, man.
He doesn't have the actual DNA.
Yeah, well, yeah. I, with Barry, I don't know if it was because of his DNA, because he's the accident. It started with him. Well, with Jay, I don't really know how it works in this one, because in the comics, I think like Jay Garrick and Barry are from different Earths. I think. I don't know. Regardless, like with Bart, Barry that's how he gets his powers is from down the family line, so his was passed down. This is a bit more integrated and different. So, but Wally's was a replication and an imperfect one. So, it seems that there is also the fact that we don't know how long he's been out of the hero gig, so that might be one of the reasons at least why it hasn't fully. It hasn't grown any further than it was before. Yeah. But even so, like when he had recreated, he still couldn't go as fast, and he couldn't buy his molecules. So this version of Wally may not ever have been able to go as fast as, I don't know why I did that, but go as fast as Barry and or Bart.
I'm curious to see if what Bart knows is only from Neutron.
Well,
because he kept saying history books and stuff, but that entire area was just nuked. So unless they literally went out of their way to save novels,
There might whatever happened. Yeah, then maybe they did. Maybe they went around and they've dug up old. And again, we don't know like the extent of anything else. We only saw like a portion of Mount Justice and a portion of the island. We don't know how much. Like I'm not saying that the Earth itself wasn't like hit with like badly. We just don't know how much portions were like if some portions were worse than others, and how much was scavengeable. Jacob.
Salvageable.
Thank you.
There's no
I was
C
combining it. I knew it was my brain was like, you're almost there. Guys, that's it. That's it for this episode, guys. I don't know what to tell you. If you want to stick around for next episode, be sure to subscribe. But if you want to see next episode early, Patreon is where to go. Usually a week early. Sometimes it might be a little behind. Sorry about that.
And you know what? Maybe one of these episodes won't be doom and gloom. Maybe.
Sorry.
Probably not.
Sorry.